Today we are doing Zuppa Toscana. This is an Italian soup that you can get from Olive Garden. It is very delicious. We're going to do the copycat in like 30 minutes. So grab a pen and paper and I will show you exactly what you need. You're going to need some kale, some cut up onions, and I already diced mine and I froze them the night before. Some sausage already chopped up. My favorite sausage is this turkey sausage by Eckrich. It is really flavorful, but you can use whatever crushed turkey that you want to use. You can use spicy turkey, whatever. You're going to need some potatoes, roughly about 5 potatoes chopped, sliced and cut in half. You're going to need some heavy whipping cream. This amount will do just fine, and we're doing a little bit of extra soup today because I'm making some for my assistant and her mother. We're doing some salt-free seasoning, some garlic powder, some seasoning salt, a little bit of Italian seasoning, a little bit of oregano, and a little bit of parsley, probably like a tablespoon of each one, and just a dash of salt. We'll use about a teaspoon of that. I would say from this, we would use about 2 teaspoons of that. The sausage is already salty enough. And we're going to be doing, instead of chicken broth, we're going to be doing better than bouillon. We're going to make our own chicken broth for our soup. If you have bouillon cubes, you can use that, or you can use your chicken broth. But we're going to start with sauteing our sausage and our onions together for about 4 minutes. All right, guys. We've got our skillet. Now let's move over to the stove. All right, guys, we've got our onions in there. They're nice and translucent. Now we've got our sausage. I've already added the dried herbs. Like I said, you can use fresh. I like to use dried because it's a lot quicker. But I've got my teaspoon of oregano, teaspoon of Italian seasoning, teaspoon of salt-free seasonings, and a teaspoon of parsley. We'll add our garlic later as our broth is going. So we're going to go ahead and dump in our sausage and spices. We're going to get this sauteed down for about, I'd say about 3 minutes. And then we'll come back and we'll add our water and our better than bouillon to make a nice broth. Hey guys, our sausage looks great. Now we're going to add about 7 cups of water. And we're going to add 1 teaspoon of our Malaysian pink salt and 1 teaspoon of our Creole seasoning. All right, guys, here we go. We've added our seasonings. We added 1 tablespoon of garlic. And we added 1 tablespoon of chicken bouillon to our seasoning. As it comes to a boil, we start adding in our potatoes. This meal is so delicious, your family will love it. As we continue to add our potatoes, we're going to let it boil for about 5 minutes to 7 minutes, and then we're going to add our kale. All right, guys, hang tight. All right, guys, our soup is working on coming to a boil. That looks absolutely delicious, and we haven't even added our heavy whipping cream and kale. So as that comes to a boil, this step is optional. You guys can use crushed red peppers and some black pepper. A teaspoon of black pepper and a teaspoon of crushed red pepper. If your family members can take it, it is absolutely delicious and it adds a kick to the soup. All right, guys, our potatoes are nice and al dente. We are going to go ahead and add some fresh kale to the mix. So go ahead and get your kale. My suggestion is to add about 6 cups. For me, I'm going to add about 10 cups of kale because we love veggies. So as I add my kale, we'll let the potatoes continue to boil. This will boil for another 5 minutes, and then we'll add our cream. Now will be a great time to taste your broth to see if you need a little bit more salt or a little bit more flavor. All right, guys, we have just added all of our cream, and we're just giving it a good stir. Our potatoes are nice and tender. We've seasoned it to taste. We added a little bit more of our bouillon. Let's test. All right, guys, the Zuppa Toscana is all ready. We got a real Italian here today. Miss Jess is gonna give it a taste.
So good. Delicious.
All right, you heard it from a real Italian. There we go. So delicious.